Evan.
Ben, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Well, we're back with another episode here.
And wouldn't you know, we now have new digs.
Hashtag guys, new digs.
And
no one hashtags anything.
we're trying to make this permanent, though, right?
This will be the permanent spot. Anyone notice what we got here in the background?
Turf nerds.
This is the Turf Nerds official banner. Actually, you guys, if you need a banner and you live in Metro Detroit, Michigan, go to Richard Reproductions. His name is Rick Larrabee. He'll hook you up. Tell him his best buddy, Evan Lindman, sent you. Richard Reproductions. Look it up.
Yeah, and he was pretty quick with the turnaround on it, right?
He got this thing turned around, guys, in 2 days. Literally like 2 days.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a blessing. Good guy.
Yeah, so this is actually my basement, the new podcast lair.
The cave, right?
Yeah, and I think we got a pretty good setup here. You can't see it. We've actually got a 3-camera thing working because
This will work, yeah. This will be big time.
The camera
there in the future.
expert. And then, the usual sound equipment we'll have where I'll scoot over a bit and we'll use this middle seat here when we have some guests, which we will have coming up.
We do have
soon.
a guest coming up next week.
Yep.
Look forward to that, or next episode. I think this is episode 9.
Episode 9.
So then
10 should be the guest, and then we're
gonna have
looking
Big E on there.
Looking at a couple other guests too. So maybe some.
We have some guys coming down the pike. Is it pike or pipe?
It's pike, but I think pipe has also become an acceptable.
Never always knew because it's
well.
kind of like pipe and pike sound almost the same. So
Yeah.
I never knew
it's
what's
one of
actually
those
the right
things
way.
where I think enough people have said it the wrong way that they said either way works. You good there?
I was trying to adjust our drop board here. To start off, guys, we always have to do this. Or maybe that was the wrong one.
We usually have the clap.
Oh, the clap. Here we go. And like how it doesn't work.
There we go. There we go.
Finally got it.
So we can start.
Finally got it, guys.
So what's been going on, man? What's happening in the world of lawn care?
Well, good question, Ben. Let's see. We are in the end of August right now.
Yeah. Days are getting shorter.
Generally in Michigan, you mow through the end of October or the 1st of November. It's anywhere from 25 to 30 cuts. I'm kind of in that jaded phase right now where I love what I do.
Dog days of summer, man.
It's great. It's dog days. It's still hot. And I'm doing great solo here. I've been blessed by the Lord with, fruitful labor, but it's just lawns are starting to grow again. We got some rain, guys. And when lawns grow again, this is basically like spring rush 2 right now. So lawns are long, doing a lot of double and maybe triple cuts too in some areas of lawns.
Oh, wow.
This past week, but getting through the week, and I'm trying just to mow everything just shorter and shorter and shorter as we get closer through October into November. So guys, general rule, don't let your clients request a high cut or have the grass be long on the very last cut. You want it as short as possible. Obviously not scalping, but the reason why you want to keep it short, it prevents snow mold from growing in the grass. And when people want their lawns cut too long on the very last cut, the grass mats over and it's just not good for the lawn. It's like the lawn wearing a double mask. It just won't breathe well for the summer in the spring. And then you need aeration, and aerations are really important. So last cuts, guys, cut it short. Don't scalp it, but nice and tight. So
okay. Hey, we're a good portion through the lawn care season.
Yes.
You've been doing total solo this year.
100%.
So looking back, previous years, you always had somebody working with you.
I did.
What's your thoughts going forward? Do you like the solo, or would you rather have somebody working with you?
I would say this, there's a saying from a man from
Greg Durbin?
Our church. No, not Greg. A different guy. This is an old church guy, not Doc Human, but someone else. His name was Kevin Nast. And he was on the setup team at church, and he was always trying to recruit people. And he would say, "Hey," and he kind of had a twitch and
Yes, he did.
Kind of a scrunch there to his face. Go, "Hey, you want to join a sub team? Any hands make light work." And so, my definition of to go back what you're talking about, I would define this as many hands make light work with lawn care. And looking back at it, I mean, I would love to have, someone back full time to help me grow things, but it's just, I'm getting killed with paying people right now. So got to bite the bullet. Going solo is one of the best things I've ever done, but I can mow everything fast. Where you get killed, and guys would know, these solo operators, you would know, you get killed with all the trimming. And so the trimming sets you way back. So I wouldn't change it, but there's some days where I'm like, man, I wish I had help. Even 2 hours of help, I could easily knock out well over 30 lawns. I can average anywhere from 21 to 26, 27 a day, depending on the size. There's a ton of conditions, though. But looking back at it, I mean, yeah, I would like to have someone back, but I wouldn't change it now. Solo's the way to go. Don't have to pay anyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I wanted to spend some time on this week was talking about advice and tips that you would give to people that are taking care of their own lawn. So, you got
the regular Joe, right?
The regular Joe, what kind of tips would you give them on how to grow the best lawn, how to mow it, how to fertilize it, all that good stuff?
That's a great question. For the average homeowner, I would start out by, some homeowners like tractors, some have push mowers. Get yourself a mower where you're not necessarily wasting a whole bunch of time, but if you need good exercise, get a 22 push mower and mow 2 acres. It might take you a while, but get yourself a homeowner's machine, not a commercial. I would only advise a homeowner to get a commercial machine if they're mowing acreage and like a lot of properties. And then I would buy used. But if you're doing a little homeowner machine, buy something new. And then after that, I would prep your yard, pick up all your sticks and rock and crap. I see many homeowners just cutting on tractors and push mowers, and man, even driving by people and I'm mowing lawns while homeowners like mowing their lawn, guys, and see them running over stuff, and it just looks bad. And then people don't care, and it makes my anxiety just go crazy, because I'm like, come on, do this right. So care for your machine there a little bit too. Like, so I would say if you're, buy a push mower or maybe a tractor new. If you want to go commercial, buy it used, but prep your yard for this though. Pick up objects and stuff, sticks and whatnot. And I get a lot of clients and other people. They're like, hey, how come my lawn's not, they're like, hey, how come my lawn's not green? X, Y, and Z. Oh, I paid for a fertilization company. How come it's dying? I'm like, well, you pay for the fertilizer, like that company, but you're not watering.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Or people they think you can grow grass basically in the dark and in the shade. I'm like, this is not Camelot, okay? You don't have Gaius casting a spell on the grass and just having, or sorry, not Gaius, that was Merlin's helper. You just don't have Merlin the Warlock casting a spell on grass. It's like people don't, like, there's such thing as shade grass, but even with shade grass, there's still a lot of sun that comes on there. Yeah. People literally like to try to grow the grass in the dark, and I'm like, this is just not going, it just doesn't work. But know your lawn, and I would really say, become like, have a good relationship with your lawn so you know how to make it look the best. And it starts with watering it. Even for a homeowner, I've seen many dry lawns, people are cheap, and then fertilize it though too. Now, I don't fertilize too much, but I do know basic principles. Costco, you can just go get Scott's Weed and Feed.
Yeah.
You could really almost fertilize anytime you want as long as you water, but the general rule is 6 applications. There's 3 for herbicide, and another 3 would be for like fertilizer and like wheat, or, like turf building. Guys would quote me on this, but that's generally the rule. And with that, for the homeowner, you could fertilize, 6 times a year, but I fertilize my home only 3 times a year, and I have really lush green front yard, even though I have a whole bunch of shade in my front yard though too. But there is sections of my yard that has some bare spots from turn of the mower, because I do try to grow grass in the bare spots, but the shade builds up over time and throughout the summer, and the leaves are there. And it doesn't matter how slow you go with some of these big mowers though too, you'll tear up the grass. So I preach to people, you got to cut limbs and trees and water a lot if you want to really have a nice lush lawn. And it's really not hard to do. There's no science into growing grass. People just don't want to pay to have quality.
How much should people be watering?
Good question. Like I said, know your shady area. If I have this one lawn client, her name is Faith. She's about 99 years old. Okay, she's old as bung. It's amazing. Great woman. We always kind of do friendly banter with each other. So her front yard's completely covered in shade. She's got a big giant kind of like willow tree. It's kind of ugly, and the branches are getting too low now, and kind of gets in my way when I try to mow. But she's having sprinklers, and she fertilizes, and her grass is staying green the whole entire year. Then you have the guy Mike next door. He's got sprinklers. He's got no trees, and his lawn is brown when he doesn't water a lot. So know the locations of your house, spots and areas in your lawn where there's shade and where there's sun. Where there's sun areas, you're going to have to water a lot more than you think, and water at like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. before the sun comes out. People like to water during the middle of the day, and I'm like, the water's shooting on the sprinkler. It's going to evaporate before it even hits the ground to really water. It's like you can water for 25 minutes during a 95-degree day with the sun out, but you're really not going to have the water, H2O, penetrate the soil to really help build and grow the turf.
Yeah.
So it's
and
people just don't really realize where you live. It's like, hey, you have trees? You don't have trees. You have to know that. So
when you think about it, what place has the most lush lawn? Like a golf course.
Oh, big time.
When are they watering? They're watering early in the morning and late
in the
at
morning,
night.
all the time. You have to, and there's a big difference. I can easily tell clients who are not even mine, your regular homeowner, who waters and who doesn't. So, and who fertilizes and who doesn't. Guys, we're kind of in the season of crabgrass right now, and it's even harder to mow because crabgrass it's a grass, but it's kind of a weed, and crabgrass it can hold moisture better than bluegrass. This our regular turf that we see here, and I'm like, there you go. If moisture is held in the lawn, you'll have a green lawn.
What do you think about these fertilizer companies? Are there any that you'd say are better than the others, or?
I refer out the people here in my local area. We'll have a FERT guy on that my dad uses soon, and I would always say they're all generally pretty good guys. They do like to try to blame I've had them come at me, not directly, but just through the client saying that I'm like cutting too low, and I'm like, I'm cutting on 3.5. That's not low, and they try to blame me if the lawn's not looking as green. And when we're in the hot months, I'm like, okay, don't tell the client that it's my fault when the client's not water. Like they try to educate the client for us. I'm like, no, talk to me. I'm your lawn guy. I'm here 30 times a year. I can tell you, it's like, I'm not going to tell the FERT guy what to apply because they're the expert in that though too. But I have enough basic rudimentary knowledge now. I kind of know what these FERT guys are doing. I would say sometimes, not all the times, guys. Sometimes they over apply and you can scorch and burn out a lawn. I've seen regular homeowners throw fertilizer down and the lawn gets completely brown. They got to totally redo their turf because guess what? They threw it down and they didn't water. So it's kind of funny, but then kind of sad. It's like, you didn't water, bro. Or Greg, see you later.
Hey, so if I just bought a house, it's my first house, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to take care of my lawn myself, but I don't have a mower yet, and I go out.
Sure.
What brand should I be looking at? What kind of price do you think I should be expecting to pay for that push mower? Nothing fancy, but like say I bought like a typical 3-bedroom brick ranch in Livonia, Michigan.
Kind of like my house.
Exactly. The same size yard that you have there and that I used to have way back in the day in Hartel.
The old Hartel house.
What kind of
live next to, we're getting them on. You used to live next to a Gentle Giant, didn't you? Didn't you live next to Darren or no?
He lived,
Oxbow.
He lived
Never mind.
across West Chicago from me.
Anyways, so I used to, our typical lawn setup, even as recent as this year and last year, we'd have a rider and a push mower for small backyards. And last season, the 2021 season, I got a Toro Time Master 30-inch Home Depot, $1,200.
Okay.
So that's a high end, but that was still a residential mower because I didn't really want to spend the extra $1,000 for a commercial 30-inch mower because I would only use it for like 2 yards. So you're looking at anywhere. And then before the Time Master, I did have a Toro. I had a different Toro residential push mower. I think that one cost me about $375.
Okay.
So you can spend anywhere on the cheap end. I'd say $300, but most homeowners would pay anywhere from $400 to $700 for a quality residential push mower, and you're looking at Toro, Honda, they got some pretty good machines, but those are the primary two mowers that I see a lot of homeowners have. And then some homeowners you see with their push mower, it's so beat up and so dusty and full of dirt. It's like, I don't even know what brand that even is. So,
okay. Any other recommendations for the homeowner? I think I see some people that probably overmow.
Oh, sure.
And then some that, that go through the no-mow, May and beyond.
That's funny. Hey, first, turn your mic where the faces. Yeah, that your logo was off.
Yeah, I got it.
We're still trying to fix this, guys. Podcasting is a lot harder than you think. Like, I'm kind of a tech nerd, and Ben's great at talking. Like, man, Ben could pitch any product, but then I got to remind myself, and it's like, hey, with this mic, you have to speak in towards the actual logo because it's like a direction. It's a type of like directional, but Ben can make any mic sound good.
But these are good mics.
Oh, these are quality.
You found these are
this was
Mayono.
This was like $75, and this one came in some kit, and we had a little mixer here. Send us stuff. Okay, yeah, no, we're not about that, but yeah, great quality mics. Anyways, back to your question. What was your question again?
About people that either overmow or just go months between mows.
Well, this year they tried to kick off this campaign. It was No Mow May to help preserve the bee population. And is recently, I thought I heard something like, I'm trying to remember where I heard this from, but there was a client that hadn't mowed their lawn. I heard this through my buddy. It was his client. It was a client's neighbor. They were trying to get my friend to mow for him, and they hadn't mowed it all year. It's like almost like ended June, early July. I'm like, it was like 3 feet long. Like that's just ridiculous. So you have that person. Well, you do have the regular homeowner that literally they try to mow every like 17 days. And then you have homeowners that they mow weekly. You have the guy, weekly Walter, mows every 7 days. But then you have other guys that like to mow like twice a week, Tommy type of thing. Some of these people have way too much time on their hands to make their lawns look pretty, but I know I'll be like that one day when I'm about 85, still going. Well, that'll be way different. So there's many different types of people, but my general rule is mow it weekly, but it also depends on your grass and how fast it grows. And I would still say mow it weekly, even if you have slow growing grass, and cutting it higher is generally healthy. Higher grass is healthier because you can retain more moisture in it. But I would argue, guys would try to knock me in this one. I would argue that even if you like mow it really short, borderline scalp it, you're exposing the roots more. Okay.
I'm with
you. Follow me. You're exposing the roots more, Ben. And then say you get a bad like the roots are more exposed, so the water can get into the roots quicker than it would be if you left it kind of long and shaggy. But the long and shaggy lawns can retain moisture and sun from getting into the roots. So it's kind of could go both ways.
Yeah.
My general is people like it nice and tight, but I like to leave mine a little bit higher. So I generally mow a 3.5 and to a 3.25. So,
okay.
Yeah. It's kind of where it's at.
Okay. Last couple minutes here. I wanted to totally switch gears and talk physical fitness, because I know you like to usually work out. I know you can't always get to the gym during the lawn season every day, but like what is your typical workout? And you probably change it up daily, but what do you look to do when you're going to the gym?
Well, it's kind of changed up here big time. I used to try to go 5 days a week, but then switching over, even starting last year when I was hybrid solo, and now this year, like Greg, full-time solo. I try to get, I can barely get in there 2 days, and I used to go like Monday chest, Tuesday back, Wednesday with shoulders, Thursday legs, Friday beach body arms, day 9,000. Now I have to combine days, so I'll do like Monday chest and tries, Wednesday back and buys, and then Thursday shoulders and legs. But I try to do a 4-day split, but I've been lucky to get there maybe 2 days a week this whole entire summer. Or whole entire lawn care season. Ever since the end of April, my gym time went down, but I walk like 12 to 15 miles a day. So I'm staying lean. I'm still putting on muscle, but you got to eat a lot though too. I'm constantly popping protein bars, Cliff bars, chips, just apples, things that keep me going throughout the day. But it's definitely been a change because when I started out in April this year, I actually lost probably almost 15 pounds from just coming off the air quotes fatty winter weight from plowing with my my buddies though too. But this line of work, guys, you got to eat. Like I see guys that mow all day. They just sometimes don't even bring water. I'm like, how you not dead? Like when my calories get depleted while mowing, it's just like I need to get off. Like go eat now and then come back, and I feel so much better.
Oh yeah, you got to be taking care of yourself, especially during these super hot days. You got to make sure you have tons of water.
Liquid IVs, Costco, those are great. They actually sponsor the Joe Rogan podcast. I was listening to Rogan the other day. Rogues, JRE, Liquid IV sponsored him. Like, hey, Costco, but they actually work. So his sponsors are pretty legit. I mean, and I know once we
they better be with the audience that he has.
Well, when we build that audience down the road too, if we do get some sponsors, guys, like you better believe it and bet that we're going to stand behind stuff because we're not going to be like just saying go buy this or go do that if we don't mean it. That's not we shoot you straight. So
absolutely, we'll never tell you to go get something that we don't like ourselves.
That's the truth. I mean, we keep it real here on the Turf Nerds podcast. Speaking of keeping it real, maybe we'll get Uncle Greg back on here soon, right?
Yeah, I think we might need an update from Uncle Greg about how the lawn season went, how with his third year on the job, what he's learned, that's different from before. I think we can always have Uncle Greg back. But I think
love Greg.
I'm looking forward to the upcoming guests. I'm looking forward to Evan as the next guest because I think he's got a good story to tell.
He's got a great story, guys. You'll love him. Like this guy's a powerhouse.
Yeah, and we have a few other potential guests for the future. We might get a guy who's going to come potentially talk about accounting and taxes for small business.
We do.
We've got some of the spiritual stuff that we've been talking about. We'll be rolling out hopefully soon.
And then
might have a local weather person,
weather guy, and then I'm gonna try to get Sean Spencer on from Spencer Lawn Care. Got to pull the right strings with that. I know they're busy, but we're gonna try to get him on too. Hey guys, send this to him if you also watch the Spencers because they're great people. So
yeah, and people should also check out the E&D Lawn Care YouTube channel.
Gotta get that. I think
you got a lot of great content on there, a lot of shorts. Some of them are funny, some of them are informative. The one that we released 2 weeks ago with your gear. Some people have listened to it, but to actually see it.
Yeah, we're actually doing video podcasts here too, guys. So we're just trying to grow that YouTube channel to eventually be monetized, but we're trying to just put out informative, quality content. So we kind of got a hybrid thing going where half our content's shorts, the other half is a podcast, and then a bonus video that Ben and I will do about a product or a piece of equipment that I have or X, Y, and Z. So it's been great feedback from people. It's been really cool to dive into the lawn care community and do this. And quick shout out to Tony's Lawn Care. He found us on Stitcher. He's got about 7,500 subs. Checked out his videos. He does a podcast too.
Yeah, we might be meeting up with Tony if we happen to go down to the big show in Louisville, right?
We're working out the details to go down to Equip Expo. Guys, would love to see you down. We would actually like to do a Turf Nerds meetup. So if you guys are interested in meeting up, and we'll kind of build our listening base by then. It'd be cool to have 5-10 guys be like, hey Evan, hey Ben.
Yeah, hey. I was just thinking, I haven't been to Louisville before. I know a couple restaurants where their specialties are exotic meats, and I think for any
sounds good
men like us, that's something that we would like to do.
I like any sort of exotic meat that's smoked from a smoker, and Kentucky's technically south compared to where we up here in the good old state of Michigan.
Yep. Anything else you want to talk about tonight before we
I think that's it. I'm
calling a show.
I'm kind of gassed and all grassed out, and we just guys, to get through the kind of the jaded, I guess, end of the season before we do fall cleanups, which would be fun. Just a lot of time hopping in God's word and prayer, and He's the strength of our heart. So that's what we got to remember.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you again. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.